What's up, guys? Just here by my channel. Tonight, we're doing a review for Monday Night Raw. So let's get to it then. Gunther makes his way out to the ring for his interview with Michael Cole. Cole says he was expecting to do this later tonight and starts talking to Gunther about last week and his altercation with Jey Uso. Gunther says last week Uso told him that he's not afraid of Gunther anymore. He says tonight he's here to tell everyone that Jey Uso is full of crap. Gunther grabs the mic and says screw everything and everyone who supports Uso. Gunther says he's the greatest thing to happen to the WWE, and for most of his career he's been a champion and is the greatest champion of all time. Gunther will not let Jey Uso ruin that. He says he's heard Uso, and this false confidence doesn't matter because when the bell rings, Uso still won't be able to lace up Gunther's boots, and he'll put down Uso for the fourth time. Gunther says he has never lost control despite what people are saying and was in full control when he beat the life out of Jimmy Uso. Gunther says he is looking forward to calling his mother next week to tell her how he beat Jey Uso and walked out the World Heavyweight Champion. A video package for Bianca Belair plays and stuff. Alright, so first match coming out, Liv Morgan with Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley with Lyra Valkyria. Morgan slaps Bayley after the bell, and Bayley then chases Morgan and around the ring. Morgan kicks Bayley as she enters the ring and then throws her into a turnbuckle and boots her in the corner. Bayley fires back with a slap and punches to Morgan's face. Bayley takes down Morgan with a Thesz press and then rolls up Morgan. Bayley attacks Morgan on the mat and punches her several times. Morgan drop kicks Bayley into the turnbuckles and splashes into Bayley. Bayley runs out runs out of the corner and clotheslines Morgan. Morgan is slammed into the turnbuckle around the ring. Bayley connects with a suplex and covers for a 2 count. Morgan slams Bayley's head into the corner and Bayley hits an arm drag followed by a back suplex. Morgan rolls out of the ring and Bayley goes for a suicide dive, but Morgan punches Bayley outside the ring and Morgan hits the 3 Amigos on Bayley, but can get only can get only 2. Bayley slams Morgan to steel steps and Morgan suplexes Bayley all the steel steps and we get commercial break. Back live on Raw, Bayley breaks a headlock and the women punch each other in the middle of the ring. Morgan kicks Bayley and Bayley hit knees Morgan back. Bayley runs into turnbuckles in the corner and Morgan connects with a kick and covers for 2. Morgan comes off the top rope and Bayley catches her and they roll around trying to pin each other. Bayley connects with a sunset flip, buckle bomb, and covers Morgan for a near fall. Morgan hits a code breaker on Bayley on the apron and connects with a dropkick off the apron. Bayley is sent back in the ring and covered for 2. Bayley counters Oblivion and hangs up Morgan on the second rope. Morgan hits Bayley back with a kick and Bayley then stuns Morgan and hits a belly to belly and covers Morgan and Rodriguez puts Morgan's leg on the ropes. Valkyria and Rodriguez battle outside the ring and Bayley then hits Rodriguez. This allows Morgan to hit a backstabber and she attempts Oblivion, but Valkyria makes sure it doesn't connect. Bayley rolls up Morgan for the win. So winner is Bayley. Alright, Paul Heyman waits backstage for Roman Reigns. A response from Rhea Ripley, video package and stuff to Bianca Belair and Io Sky. Alright, second match coming up, Rey Mysterio with LWO, Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, and Dragon Lee versus Julius Creed with American Made, Chad Gable, Bruce Creed, and Ivy Nile. Creed runs at Mysterio at the bell, and Mysterio slaps Creed in a waist lock. Creed beats on Mysterio in the corner and then puts Mysterio in an armbar. Creed knocks Mysterio to the mat, and Mysterio starts flipping out of holes and hits a snapmare. Creed runs at Mysterio and takes him down with a shoulder check. Mysterio takes down Creed with the Hurricanrana, and Creed runs at Mysterio and clotheslines him down and covers Mysterio for a 2 count. Mysterio is put in a headlock and Mysterio elbows out of, but Creed makes Mysterio eat a kick to the gut. Mysterio kicks Creed and goes for a top rope spot, but Bruce distracts the ref and Gable knocks Mysterio out the apron. Now Creed goes to take down Mysterio and LWO does the same thing. American Made did so the ref kicks both parties to the back and a commercial break. Damn. All right, back to Raw. Has Mysterio and Creed has Mysterio in a headlock, and Creed is trying to rip off Mysterio's mask. Creed gets Mysterio on his shoulders, and Mysterio Hurricanrans both Hurricanrans both out of the ring. Mysterio tries for a baseball slide, but Creed catches him and holds him in a vertical suplex and climbs back into the ring. Mysterio gets out of the hole on the apron, and Creed is slammed into the ring post. Back in the ring, Mysterio hits a top rope head scissor takedown and punches out Creed in the corner. Mysterio hits a DT on Creed and covers for a near fall. Creed kicks Mysterio in the face, and Mysterio sends him outside the ring. El Grande Americano runs out and Mysterio tries to rip off his mask, and Creed tries to roll up Mysterio, but Creed and Mysterio hits 619 on Creed and splashes him and covers for the win. So winner is Mysterio. After the match, Americano attacks Mysterio with a headbutt because he still has that weapon in his mask. LWL runs out to make the save, but Americano finishes them off with his loaded head. He then hits a top rope headbutt on Mysterio and then celebrates in the ring. Alright, big patch from the War Raiders calling out the New Day and stuff. Alright, backstage, the New Day is approached by Jackie Bradman, and she asks them about what the War Raiders had to say. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston tell Redmond they've been at war with everyone, and they'll come out victorious at WrestleMania. Alright, third match, AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett. The bell rings and Kross tells Mysterio about. The bell rings and Kross tells Styles he's just trying to help him. They argue back and forth, and Kross pushes Styles, and Styles sends Kross to the corner. Styles kicks Kross, and Kross kicks Styles back and lays him out. Styles is stomped on, and Styles then chops Kross until Kross trips him up and chokes him on the ropes. The ref looks at Kross while Scarlett attacks Styles on the ropes. Kross hits a fallaway slam, kind of suplex on Styles, then kicks him in the corner. Styles collides with the turnbuckle, and Kross mocks Styles, who yells in pain. Styles hits a standing drop kick and sending Kross outside the ring. Styles is tripped on the apron, and then Kross slams Styles into the barricade outside the ring. Kross throws Styles to the other side, sending him over the barricades into the timekeeper's area, and we cut a commercial break. Alright, back on Raw, Kross has Styles in a crossface, which is broken by Styles getting his feet on the ropes. Kross tries for a pin, but Styles kicks out. Kross gets Styles in a headlock in the middle of the ring, and Styles fights out of the hole, but Kross hits him with a backbreaker. Kross hits the final prayer, and Styles kicks out at 2. Styles punches Kross in the middle of the ring, and then chops Kross to the knees. Kross trips and grabs his ankle. Scarlett and the ref check on Kross as Styles talks to the ref. Kross cheap shots Styles and punches him in the face. Kross dances in the ring, and Styles hits a standing phenomenal forearm, and then hits a sliding forearm. Kross is able to get a DT on Styles and goes for the Kross hammer, but Styles counters and slams down Kross. Kross is stunned on the ropes, and Styles hits the phenomenal forearm for the win. So winner is AJ Styles. After the match, Logan Paul comes and stands at their entryway and says he's out here to congratulate Styles. He says their match at WrestleMania is going to cook, and then plays a highlight reel with his highlights to show why their match will be off the charts. Styles suggests they fight right now, as that video didn't impress him. Kross tries to sneak attack Styles, but Styles gets to him first. Styles beats on Kross, and then Styles hits an impaler DT on Kross, allowing Paul to punch Styles and hits the pulverizer, laying out Styles. Alright, backstage, Paul Heyman was still waiting for Roman Reigns to arrive. Alright, Jey Uso makes his way down to the ring. Uso stands on the announce desk and gets his theme music to play again, and everyone eats again. Uso says he said what he had to say last week, but he's out here to address the crowd. Uso says he's locked in, and he knows he's made Gunther mad, and Gunther is now afraid. He tells Gunther he's going to get him at WrestleMania. Uso's music hits, and surprisingly, everyone starts eating. Kathy Kelly targets Braun Breaker backstage and asks for his thoughts on the fatal four-way match at WrestleMania. The Judgment Day runs and attacks Breaker. Oh, come on. Alright, fourth match, which is the last match for tonight. Alright, fourth match, Penta versus Finn Balor. Alright, Penta drop kicks Balor off the apron as he's making his entrance, then splashes onto Balor outside the ring. We get the bell, and Penta kicks Balor and hits crossbody on Balor and curves for two. Balor is slammed down, and Penta kicks Balor in the face, and then kicks him in the corner and does his stall handstand double kick and covers Balor for a near fall. Penta trips Balor with some kicks a couple times and then chokes him against the ropes. Penta chops Balor on the chest, and Balor hits a basement drop kick on Penta and curves for two. Balor gets Penta in a headlock and then slams him down. Balor stomps on Penta and then hits a forearm on Penta on the apron, and we get commercial break. Balor suplexes Penta as we come back from break, and Balor covers for a near fall. Balor gets Penta in an arm lock, and Penta powers out of it and hits a running head scissor on Balor and clotheslines him a bunch. Penta connects with a backstabber and covers for a 2 count. Penta hits Balor on the top ring post and chops him. Penta climbs the turnbuckle and Balor fights back, and Penta lands on the apron and does a head scissor from the apron, sending Balor into the ring. Penta hits a sling blade, and Balor fires back with a sling blade of his own. Penta hits a tilt-a-world backbreaker and then hits a sacrifice on Balor. Rolls on Balor. Balor rolls up Penta for a near fall. Penta kicks and punches Balor. Carlito and Dominic Mysterio run down, distracting Penta, and Balor rolls him up for two. Balor hits a sling blade and drop kicks Penta into the corner. Braun Breaker music hits, and he comes running down to the ring. Breaker clotheslines Balor, and then Bell is called for. So winner by disqualification, Finn Balor. At the match, Mysterio and Carlito run in and attack Breaker. Breaker double spears Carlito, and Mysterio Breaker goes to spear Penta, but Penta is too quick and takes out Breaker, sending him out of the ring, and then splashes onto Breaker, Mysterio, and Carlito. We now have a video patch for Io Sky responding to Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley before WrestleMania. Alright, CM Punk, and it comes to sit by Paul Heyman, who is waiting for Roman Reigns. Reigns pulls up as Heyman is sitting with Punk, and Reigns walks away, leaving Heyman behind. Heyman trails Reigns as Reigns ignores him. We cut to ringside, and Roman Reigns' music hits, and he makes his way out to the ring with Paul Heyman behind him. Heyman tries to give Reigns a mic, and Reigns ignores Heyman, and pushes past him and gets his own mic. And Heyman stands there confused and sad. Reigns asks Sacramento to acknowledge him and says the whole world can feel and hear that they love and acknowledge him, and talks about how they wouldn't betray their tribal chief. And says some people do betray him, and then addresses Paul Heyman and asks how Heyman could betray him. Why? Heyman says it wasn't betrayal. He was just paying back the favor that he owed. Reigns says, where am I at? Reigns says the way favors work, you have to pay back yourself, and he's noticed that for this favor, he's the only one getting screwed over. Reigns says he takes what he wants because he never asks for help or favors. He asks Heyman why he's covering the tab for Heyman's dumbass favor. Seth Rollins' music hits, and he makes his way out to join this party. Rollins gets on the mic and tells Reigns that after a decade, he's finally getting it, except he's missing one little piece. He says this match is the biggest match ever because the winner of this match will define the future of their industry. Rollins says it can't be Reigns coming out on top at WrestleMania because Reigns is only here when he wants, and that will kill the business. And he says it can't be Punk because Punk leaves when things don't go his way, and things like that will kill this business. Rollins says he needs to win because he always does what's best for business, and he sacrificed a lot, and that's why why it's got to be him. He tells Reigns favors are choices and not by chance, and that Heyman is a scumbag and dishonorable, and that's the only little piece Reigns is missing. He tells Reigns that Heyman has chosen to be Punk's corner, and it wasn't by chance. He's not returning a favor. He's choosing Punk over Reigns. He tells Reigns to think about that and find out why Heyman is choosing Punk. Reigns tells Heyman that Rollins is right and that Heyman made his choice and he's made his, and then attacks Rollins. Reigns throws Rollins into the ring post, sending Rollins out of the ring. In the ring, Heyman tells Reigns he acknowledges him, and Reigns shoves Heyman aside, who falls to the mat. CM Punk runs out, and he and Reigns exchange punches. Punk throws Reigns out of the ring, and then goes to check on Heyman. Reigns sneaks back. Sneaks back in and spears Punk and unleashes several punches on Punk. Rollins comes in the ring with a chair and clobbers Reigns with it. Rollins stomps on Punk and then stomps Reigns and stands in the ring with the chair staring at Heyman, who quivers in the corner as the end credits roll. Alright, so that was a good show tonight and stuff. I enjoyed that one tonight. So, man, I can't wait for that triple threat match this Saturday to see what happens. So yeah, Reigns did what he did about, I think, getting close to 11 years ago, what he did to the Shield and stuff. So yeah, he did the same thing what he did with the chair, stab Roman Reigns in the back, all that stuff. So yeah, it was like a deja vu right there and stuff. So yeah, man, can't wait for that. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of good tonight. The show, not too bad. Some good matches on there and stuff. So yeah, so can't wait to see what happens on Saturday and Sunday and all that stuff. So anyways, that was it for this video. Hope you like it and not whatever stuff. So like, subscribe, hit the button, leave a comment. If you guys want to leave a comment, so I don't care what you guys do. And that was it. And I'll see you guys in the next video for AEW Dynamite. Alright, laters.